to part 2 of season 5 of Real Housewives of Orange County from 2009. If you want to, go listen to part 1 first, but it's not like The Wire. Like, you can probably still follow along if you missed part 1.
Watch your step.
So this
Alright,
is part
then.
2 of our season 5 recap. It's the last 8 episodes of the season. And I would call this part 2, Vicki Gunvalson teaches you how to survive the recession. I think that's kind of like the overarching theme of this back half. So turn to page 69, students, for a quick history lesson. I did some research for this one. History. The history of the world. So, summer 2008, that's when season 4 was filmed. Oops, my shirt. And it was known as the Summer of Delusion. So basically, like, this was when all of these people who were borrowing money, taking out a lot of loans, borrowing, from Peter to pay Paul, basically all the housewives, they were still enjoying the fruits of their labor, even though the financial crisis was 2007 to 2008. But the fall of the economy was the fall of 2008, and that's when it all came crashing down. That's when the housing bubble burst. It's like why Gina, because she was a realtor, had to leave the show. It's why everyone is poor this season, especially Lynn, whose husband is a real estate developer and also maybe a grifter. We'll get into it. And so, once those corrective banking regulations came down, people thought they would still be able to do what they were doing, moving money around, but they were not. And we really see the effects of that this season, especially in the Curtin family, because like Vicki says, you can't spend money you don't have anymore. So she's kind of like, if you've seen the movie The Big Short, she's like the Margot Robbie in a bathtub style narrator, of why her castmates are all unemployed idiots right now in this economy. And for once, she is a little bit the voice of reason by having a job.
Yeah. By having a job that she, goes to. So, but also that job makes her neglect, the people in her life.
Who love
including
her.
Call times, including her cast members. It's fine. You have, if you're a housewife, of course you have to let your marriage go by the wayside, and of course you don't have a great relationship with your children. But you got to show up for call times, Vicki. And she's like, I'm sorry. There's an episode this season where it's Alexis has people over, all the girls over to cook, but it's 3 in the afternoon or 1 in the afternoon. Vicky's like, no, I have work. I'm not going to show up and cook at Alexis's house at 1 in the afternoon.
Yeah, and also to be fair, the housewives were making $150K each at this time,
Not
per
bad.
season. So it's I guess she was raking in that much, insurance selling wise, but still, it was wise of her to be prudent. It was wise to be prudent. Gotta be prudent. Dana Carvey,
and she is
Bush,
prudent.
She's prudent.
Our Princess Prudence.
Our Princess Prudence. So Vicki is admired by all of the women in this back half for her work ethic and basically nothing else. People are saying a lot of oh, Vicki, what I do admire about her is her work ethic. She does work hard.
She works hard. I don't think she's a great mom. I don't think she's a good wife.
Yes. Or nice friend, any of that.
No, in fact, we're going to talk about how they all really hate her later. And they say this in front of Brianna, which is great.
Yes. Part of the reason that, they're annoyed with her is because she really puts them down. She's like, all these women around me, they wake up at 10 a.m., they work out for 4 hours, they get in bed at 8 p.m. I'm like,
they do?
Whose day is that? I mean, maybe Lynn because of her Xanax addiction, but that's like 5 awake hours, 4 of them working out. So she gives Gretchen some help with her foundling makeup business she's trying to start up. And her advice is don't do it in this economy. Don't spend money you don't have.
Don't start a business.
Right now, of all times.
Can you not be a spokesperson for another person's business or something?
Exactly. And Gretchen does pivot to that next season, among other things. Vicki also gives her kids and their friends an on-camera finance seminar where she says your SAT score is less important than your credit score, and they're all just completely tuned out.
Yeah, and then Brianna's like, what are you talking about? And then they're all like, can we leave the table? I don't even know if she told him it was going to be like a financial seminar. I think she just thought like all the kids were like, oh, she's going to give us like free alcohol or something. And
then
she's like sitting there talking about their credit scores. And they're like, what? And she's like, this is how long like bankruptcy will stay on your credit report. And they're like, huh? Mom? And Brianna's like, Mom, shut up.
Yeah, it's like scared straight.
Yeah, Brianna's like, I have cancer.
Yeah.
Okay, can you not talk about my credit right now, Mom?
Yeah.
We found not a lump, like 1,000 lumps.
Well, here's the thing, though. Okay, so yeah, so
sorry,
Brianna is also...
that was a very abrupt turn.
No, it's like, but here's the thing that I think about that. Like, Brianna has a health scare where she's found, like, you know, they found thousands of tumors all over her neck. And I'm like, oh my God, how horrifying, how scary. Until Vicki says, you know, I went through the same thing when I was a kid. Thousands of tumors all over my neck. They had to cut them all out.
Yeah, she's like, look at my neck. You can still see the scars of my thousands of tumors. It's just, you know, I don't know if I, but she's like, she's like, I don't know if I gave these tumors to Brianna or if they're just doing, who can tell? And I'm like, it's not like her getting her like eye color or something. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Maybe it's who knows? Who knows? But also, like, why are they so worried about cancer when Vicki had the same freak thousands of tumors, benign disease?
Yeah, and that's the other thing that's so weird about this scene too. I mean, so the scene is like Brianna's telling Vicki, her mom, that you know that the doctor found all of these different tumors, and they're gonna have to do like a biopsy to see what's going on. And Brianna's like asking her, trying to get information from her mom on like what her tumors were or whatever. And, you know, Vicki's just like, you can see the scars. Doesn't really answer anything like that could help Brianna medically at this point get answers. God damn it, Lauren. She will not stop burping.
Sorry.
No, everything's making you gassy today.
I'm a gassy gal.
Gassy gal.
Yeah, like, it's just weird. It's also like, was this new information to Brianna that her mom had thousands? Like, if my mom was like, oh yeah, when I was a kid, I actually had thousands of tumors in my neck.
Tumors on your neck? Years. Like, how long is your neck? Like, thousands. Like, how did they count them all? Like, how's the doctor count them all?
Yeah, after 100, you would just be like,
I don't know. I'm like, around, you have thousands. Was it like really like 5? It's still a lot.
Yeah, it's still a lot of neck tumors.
Thousands is like an insane amount of tumors for your neck.
Especially for none of them to be showing. Like, how small?
I know. That's the other thing too. And then and then Vicki's like, oh, like it's like it hits her, and she's like, I almost want to cry. Yeah, I'm almost emotional about this.
Almost. Yeah, it's just crazy that they are both so freaked out waiting for the biopsy results. And I'm like, look, I mean, I guess that is scary, but like, it's probably just those benign thousands of tumors freak thing that Vicki, we don't have to be this like, it's probably gonna be fine.
But like,
it's gotta be this genetic thing. But they're like, I don't know, who could say? Maybe it's just a very malignant neck cancer that spontaneously happened in the exact same way.
And you get thousands of these tumors, thousands of tumors. Your body's like, I'm going to give you thousands of benign tumors. I mean, maybe that's a thing. I don't know much about tumors.
Well, I had benign cysts growing up as part of my undiagnosed hypermobile EDS.
I've had cysts in my.
But that's like in your bones.
Oh, like, I had cysts in my ovaries.
Oh yeah, and then cysts and ovaries are common, but I think tumors are different than cysts, right?
I don't know. Let's ask Brianna and Vicki Brooks.
Let's call them. Wait, I'm gonna go to the Google.
Oh, I was like, we're gonna actually let's get him on the line.
Let's get him on the line. Yeah. Because
how do they know if there's thousands?
Quite a bit lately.
You've been Googling what?
Cysts quite a bit lately, so I'm surprised I didn't find that in my research. No, they're different. Yeah. Tumors are solid masses of tissue.
Can you get thousands of them in your neck?
Benign tumors don't require treatment unless they cause problems.
I just would be like, I don't want to have several thousand.
That's just too many to not be kind of freaked out.
One too many.
Yeah, like 50 tumors. It's like, okay, that's, covered in thousands of tumors. It's very rare, one-of-a-kind disease. And especially for them not to be showing, that's very unusual. neurofibromatosis, a rare inherited disorder that results in benign tumors on the nerves and other parts of the body. So that's clearly what's going on.
Inherited.
Why hasn't the doctor said this? Why are they like, I don't know, could be cancer.
Isn't Brianna a nurse? Like, Brianna's a nurse.
Well, look at the road she went down in terms of junk science.
If you guys don't know what Lauren's referring to, you can follow Brianna on Instagram. She doesn't eat seed oils, and she sells essential oils, and that's her job.
And that's her job because she's like, I've recovered from being an ER nurse. I've turned it around.
She's turned it around, and she's like fully cured herself of lupus, which is not a thing you can do. You can be in remission, and you can, get better, but
no, can't.
She's just not eating seed oils, and she eats beef bowls for breakfast. But I know too much about it.
Yeah. Another people I don't trust. Anyone who knows what nightshades are, you have an eating disorder. Sorry.
I know what a nightshade is.
Exactly.
I don't trust eggplants, and I don't trust tomatoes.
No.
I don't trust bell peppers.
Junk science, eating disorder.
Yeah.
Telltale sign.
If you don't know what nightshades are, get one of Gwyneth Paltrow's several cookbooks. I can't believe I don't own any of them. She talks about nightshades. Like, she made like a book. One of her cookbooks is like nightshade free.
Oh my God.
So there's no nightshades, but a lot of her recipes call for duck eggs.
Nightshade free, the most corrupt thing she's ever done.
There are people that should not be eating nightshades. Like, they can be like, if you have GERD and stuff, they can trigger that. That's pretty
the acidicness. It's not the inherently inflammation, and bloating that you get. Some vegetables have in seeds.
When you eat a tomato, you're like, God damn it, I'm so bloated.
I'm so fat now. I've gained so
much
weight on my ultimatum diet.
On my ultimatum diet. I'm gonna throw these eggplants out the goddamn window.
Okay. Speaking of
nightshade,
disordered eating, Lynn throws a dinner party.
She throws her face out the window.
Vicki and Simon have a big fight at the dinner party, and Tamra pretends to be the peacemaker, but it really seems like she's kind of like pitting them against each other. Yeah,
because she's the one who's like telling Vicki privately all the shitty things that Simon's doing, and then privately telling Simon all of the things that Vicki has said about their marriage. But she's saying things because you're saying things, Tamra, and she's trying to be a good friend to you by giving you marriage advice, which if you need marriage advice, you should be going to Vicki for that.
It's like, it's so clear her machinations looking back. And I'm like, were viewers just less seasoned back then? And they like believed kind of whatever plot they were being given on reality TV, like whatever story they were being fed? Or was it like we hadn't advanced as much as a reality TV medium?
Well, there wasn't social media. I mean, there was social media, obviously, but I don't think it was like, we didn't have like all of the information all of the time that we do now, like, even like with stuff with like Dumois and like, I don't know.
But still, it's very clear, just like, I didn't look at any like tabloids about Tamra and Simon's marriage at the time. Like, and this is like, I'm taking out the context even of knowing who Tamra is now. It's like, watching it, it's very clear that like, it's possible that Simon is abusive. Like, we've both had abusive boyfriends who like were very manipulative and good at hiding it, and definitely would be good at hiding it on camera. But it's also very clear that Tamra wants to trap him and like trap him into saying something mean on camera, and she's not getting what she wanted. And it's very clear she is saying to the camera she wants to get divorced and not mentioning it to him at all. And saying to the camera they've talked about divorce, and he has not heard that. He has
no idea
till the end of the season. Like,
then she does let him in on that whole bit.
Yeah, finally she gets what she is looking for.
She
but
tells
not at this
him
party.
Straight up. And then she's like, I just want you guys to get along. And they're like, how can we get along when all you do is talk shit about this person? I'm not going to like this person. Yes. I wouldn't like a person that you were dating if all you ever did was tell me that they were abusive and making your life miserable.
Yeah. And that like they, wouldn't allow you to work, and like I will say
not work, and they're making you eat nightshades, and they make you eat nightshades,
bloating you up so no man will want you because they're so controlling. Yeah, I will say, like,
all he buys is our eggplants.
I will say he is, like, I do think that he is, like, worried about her cheating on him on camera, and all of the men are kind of controlling and worried about that. Do you think they have a point because Vicki has, like, disrespected Dawn so many times on camera and, like, sat in men's laps and put her finger in their mouths? Or do you think that's, like,
well, and then
dumb of them
also,
to be
like,
jealous?
that is funny. But also, like, well, they talk about it at the reunion, but then also just, like, because we know, because we've watched a lot of these seasons, that Vicki was, in fact, cheating on Dawn.
Yeah. So it's like, I do think that, like, I don't know. I don't know
look,
if
I'm not
Pam
going
would
to put
be
it past
jealous.
Tamra. I'm not going to put it past Tamra to, like, be cheating on Simon.
Oh, yeah. I mean, later she
I mean, the
admits,
things that she's
like,
done
I
on
talked to an
camera.
ex-boyfriend, but we didn't hook up.
We didn't do anything.
It was just an emotional affair because Simon's abusive.
But that is still, I mean, that's still cheating.
Yeah, that's still cheating. So yeah, it's really hard. Only Simon and Tamra, and possibly their kids, will know the truth about the dynamic of their relationship. Obviously, it was contentious. They had a lot of problems. Tamra didn't want to be married anymore, but, like, what really went on, we only know.
Yeah, we'll never all see the fucking truth.
Yeah. But, you know, believe all women except for Tamra. Okay. No, there are no perfect victims. She very well could be. So at the dinner table, things get even worse. Alexis is telling another one of her old shaggy dog tales about how she and Jim got married or, like, fell in love.
Oh my God, Vicki.
I was at the pool, and then all the girls were looking at me at the pool. So then I went back because I dropped my bag, and I went back and got the bag, and then a bunch of guys were talking to me, and so I put on my shorts, and Vicki's like, which fair.
It was really long. It was like this monologue she did this last
forward.
where it's like, wait, so do you want the Red Bull? It's like, when get to the part where you meet Jim and not just like, according to Jim, how did you meet?
Yes. Like, even Jim is kind of like, okay, let's speed it up.
Did what?
Come on, let's get there.
Yeah, like, oh my god. Yeah, and she's, oh god, in their little anniversary trips that they take, but
ugh. So all the women snap at Vicki because they're just, you know, Tamra's mad at her for, you know,
being alive.
Simon. They're also sat next to each other, Vicki and Simon, for TV. Then all the men, you know, they again, like, pop off on Dawn for, you know, not being invited to the trip. And Dawn is, like, so likable this season, I say.
Love Dawn.
He is great. Even Andy at the end is like, Dawn is a great guy.
He is
like, he's just laughing. He's like, she didn't invite me. You guys are the weird ones. Like, he's defending her, like, when they're attacking her. Like, he's great. And then, you know, she's like, okay, well, we're gonna leave because you're treating me like shit, and we've got work in the morning.
Yeah.
And then they really get mad at that. They're like, she's like, what? I have to work, and Dawn has to work, and none of you guys have a job.
You
which,
you
like,
don't know what I'm talking about.
But yeah. But I mean, you know, they were kind of shitty to her. I really think this was fair game. It's not even. It's true. It's not even like a character attack. Like, none of them have jobs.
Yeah, none of them have jobs. TV. Like, you know, like Leatherface Lydia. What's her name? I forgot. I forget her name.
Lynn. But I honestly, I don't count the women do have jobs. The women are housewives. Some of them are spending way beyond their means. The men do not get paid for this, and they don't have jobs.
No, and they don't even have tequila.
Their lives.
That's the other thing. It's like, someone's got this tequila thing going on. They never mention the name of the tequila.
He doesn't even, like,
bring, like, you'd think that he would, like, bring it to, like, parties and stuff, so they would get some, like, advertising for it. Nothing.
I think that's part of the reason Tamra wanted to cut ties, because it's like, I think the Bethany clause, as she calls it, was in order. So it's like, if he promotes it on camera, Bravo gets a cut. And it's like, why wouldn't you say yes to that? Like, it's worth it. I promise you, even if they're getting like a 70% cut, so many more people are going to be drinking your stupid tequila.
Yeah, just because it's been on TV. Yeah.
Especially in those early days, like, you know, Whispering Angel wine. I
haven't had any Housewives alcohol. Like, I've never had, like, a Vanderpump rosé.
I've heard it tastes like acid, like pennies and acid.
I don't care. Yeah, I'll drink it.
Yeah, you like a wine. Yeah, all wine is the same to me, to be honest. Which is why I don't drink it that much. It all gives me a rash and makes me flush.
Oh, I get that, like, flush.
Yeah, I don't like it. Flush and diarrhea. Okay, so then, oh my god, Vicki in the limo after this was so funny.
Flush your diarrhea.
So there's Like, she's, like, crying, and Dawn is like, "Okay, Vicki, like, come on. You fought with Simon, like, all season. Like, right now you're crying? Like, he's a dick to you all the time. You're, like, a dick back to him. Like, why is this can't be affecting you that much right now." And she's like, "It is." And he goes, "Well, what do you want me to do?" And she goes, "I want you to kick his ass." Dawn's like, "I'm not gonna fight him. What do you
No. He's like, "I'm 55."
So
what are you
funny.
talking about, Vicki?
Can you imagine, like, turning to Jason?
We're newlyweds, Dawn.
Turning to Jason and, like, someone pissed you off at work, and you're like, "Babe, can you kick his ass for me?"
Yeah, and then Jason would be like, "Well, also, like, you're remote, and everyone on your team is, like, in a completely different part of the country. We're not even in the same time zone. So no. Can you cyberbully this guy?"
Create a Finsta. Create an alt.
Yeah, create a Finsta. Create a subreddit, a snark page for my coworker. Thank you.
Oh my god,
that's my love language. That's my love language.
To create a sub for, like, someone with no social media,
page.
like 300 Instagram followers. It's like a 2-person sub. They're like, "Look at what they posted today."
Look at this email.
Oh,
that's how you do it, ladies.
I want to do it now. That's so good. Sweet revenge. Okay, so we get the cast trip. They take the Sprinter bus to San Francisco. And Brianna meets up with all the ladies at lunch. And all the women go nuts on Vicki in front of Brianna, like Michele talked about. And Vicki leaves the table, and they continue to talk shit about Vicki in front of Brianna.
They do, and like Brianna's just trying to drink her Bloody Mary and like have fun with the girls. She was invited to go to San Francisco, and they're just like, "We hate your mother,"
and she's like, "Oh, she's trying." Like, she's very
I mean, I'm sorry.
She's so like level-headed, and then Vicki finally comes back, and Tamra's especially hurt that. Vicki's especially heard that Tamra is taking Alexis's side when she just met her. Don't you dare pit her against me. And so then like everybody calms down, and Alexis is like, "I know what I want to do. I want to say a prayer for Brianna." And it is the most batshit prayer I've ever heard, where it's like, "Dear God, you who have sunk the locusts on the promised land, you who have saved the Pharaoh, you who made the lion and the lamb." Everyone's like, "What?" And then she's
like, "This woman has never prayed."
And then she's like, "Please do not kill Brianna. Do not take her. She has so much time left. I know it's in your power to kill her, but do not." And everyone's like,
"Do not
so much
do
worse."
It. And just let the girl drink her Bloody Mary. She's got thousands of tumors, you guys. This is a lot of stuff happening to this child.
Alexis is so funny. It's like, the reason she's a magical housewife is because she has all of like the smug self-righteousness and thinking she's smart of Bethany, but the brain of Kelly Ben-Simone. And it's
she doesn't know what's happening.
No, but she thinks she is on top of it and looking like a genius.
Yeah, she's like, "My marriage looks so healthy.
Yes.
My kids look like they're so happy.
Look so healthy.
They look normal. The only thing that needs tweaked are these boobies, ladies." She gets new boobs.
Yeah.
And twins.
So we get back from San Francisco, and they finally are about to get the biopsy results. Vicki says to Brianna, "I'm awake all night when you work the night shift. At 4 a.m., I say, 'Great, we only have 3 more hours.' And then at 5 a.m., I say, 'Great, 2 hours to go.' And Brianna goes,
'What?'
Me?" And Vicki goes, "We're connected by the soul." I love her. Anyway, the biopsy surprise is negative. It's just the thousands of neck tumors thing that Vicki had. And she's okay. Tamra and Vicki go for a walk and try to mend their friendship while screaming at each other, while Tamra pushes her child Sydney in a stroller. And viciously
and that's the last time we'll ever see from little Sydney.
Yep, gone forever. But not forgotten. And we'll get into a certain
definitely not forgotten, because Tamra will never shut up about that.
Yep. Even
just
though
that's the problem. That's why Sydney won't fucking talk to you.
That's why Sydney won't talk to her. We'll get into it in season 11. So anyway, they're on the rocks, but things are looking up for their friendship later in the season, and not looking good for Simon or Tamra's daughter. Stay tuned. Let's take a break on that.
Tamra and Simon.
Yep.
At least we're doing breaks today.
Yeah, I'm
God, that's so okay. I'm like, how much do we?
I really want to cover Lynn, and then it's pretty much just the finale party. I mean, we can get into Alexis and Jen
How
stuff.
could
I
you
feel
do
like we
that?
covered a lot.
I forgot
of
her name. I called her Lydia.
I just feel like this was a huge thing for Bravo, like to get this on camera. They were very excited. Like
what, with her and her husband?
The eviction. This was huge. They talked about it in Diamonds.
Oh yeah, them showing up and like their daughters are like, what? And then she's like on the phone with her husband. And
also, I have like tea about them too. Okay.
I know. We should have. I wish they would get Jen's eviction like that.
Yeah. But I think,
Gina showing up.
You'll see why they got it in a minute when I tell you. When I tell you the truth, you will all know the truth about Lynn Curtin.
You all see the fucking truth. You're trying to take down the
Fedors.
You
always call them the De Beers.
The De Beers.
That's what it should be.
Ooh. Yes, get them on TV. The De Beers.
Yeah,
Blood Diamond Money.
All the diamond money. Yeah, I really want to know more about
Blood Diamonds?
Yeah. The movie wasn't enough. I need a reality show. No. Okay. So Lynn Curtin is a famously divisive housewife, tearing our friendship apart. Just like her story arc in this part of the season really captured something that's happening in America, this podcast is really capturing something that happens with Lynn Curtin. Some people hate her because she was so irresponsible, such a bad mom, et cetera, et cetera. But some people also think she is camp and funny. And,
she's the cilantro of housewives. You love her or you hate her. There's no in between.
Exactly.
You can't just have some of it and be like, it's fine. Like, you can't have it at all, or you gotta have it. You gotta have it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like she's not like on my top 10 or anything, but she makes me laugh, and I don't think she makes Michele laugh.
She tastes like soap.
Exactly. So after throwing her second huge expensive on-camera party, the next day an eviction notice is delivered to Lynn's very hungover teenage daughters on camera in their rental house.
Yeah, they're like, there's like people at the house saying we don't live here.
It's so sad. They hate that it's on camera. Like one is covering up the blanket, the other is like flipping the birds so that they'll be in front of their face, so they'll be blurred out. The cameras they've clearly asked the cameras to leave and they're not.
Yeah.
And it's but Bravo was really excited to capture this because it does give like such a historical context to the season. Is it irresponsible for these girls to be on camera ever, much less at the most humiliating part of their lives? Yes. But it is like that's kind of what Lynn is remembered as, because her family is such a good example of what was happening all over after the effects of the global financial crisis. So Lynn is super mad at her husband about this because apparently he defaulted on a $10,000 security loan and didn't tell her, and she's acting like the victim. He lied to her. She's so mad. And none of the other housewives are really buying it. They're like, well, Lynn is like very checked out. Like she doesn't parent. She doesn't, the money should have been in their bank account. She has to know how much is in their bank account. And if there wasn't $10K, that's something she should be aware of, because she goes to San Francisco and spends $14,000 on a leather jacket afterwards. It's real. It's some Jen Padranti shit. So I did a little research. Turns out
behind the Lynn Curtin is this
behind the Lynn Curtin. That's so good, Michele. Behind the Lynn Curtin. So she was pretending to be very shocked, very upset, and like a lot of people felt bad for her that her husband betrayed her and lied and kept her in the dark. This was their third eviction that year. So
how
Bravo,
did they ever get approved to rent another home?
Because I think that it was such a bad market, right? Like, like Vicki was probably getting anyone she could in her rental, so it's like they just wanted the money. And especially crazy that they couldn't pay that $10K loan, because the housewives made $150K that year. Like all of that money went to their spending.
The facelifts and the nose job.
That's where the $10K really went. It went straight to the facelift and nose job, mother-daughter combo. Yeah. Also, they had a warrant out for their arrest that whole season, and they had defaulted on they had a lawsuit for $1.2 million owed. So Lynn was not as innocent as she seemed. I learned this all, by the way, from the Orange County Register, which is an underrated tabloid if you want to know about old Orange County gossip. Also, after they were evicted and moved, she moves into her mom's house with the girls, and Frank moves into a friggin' spa resort. So they had like no furniture in this house, right? It was so clear they were renting it. She stole all of the furniture that was there. $5,000 worth of furniture, destroyed the tub, destroyed the carpets. Like, it's clearly, I feel like, drug and alcohol abuse. I think that, like, I think they were maybe Xanax addicts.
Yeah, and he kind of asks, well, he does ask her about it at the reunion if she takes pills.
Yeah, and it's like she pretends, she laughs and like, oh yeah, me on the bong, smoking the bong all day. And she's probably in denial because it's like, no, I just take the pain pills from the surgeries I get every 2 months,
And mix it with alcohol.
Like
and credit card debt. Yeah.
Oh, they also punched a bunch of holes in the walls.
What is happening in this house of horrors?
I know it. And there was something else awful. Oh yeah, so she claimed that the only reason the landlord wanted that $10,000 deposit and was charging so much was because the landlord was jealous of Lynn's plastic surgery, which I am. She did look great. So to Frank's credit, they are accomplices in their terrible parenting and spending. But Frank is willing. I think he does love Lynn. Like he takes full responsibility on camera. He totally takes the fall. Doesn't mention the other evictions. Was like, I lied to her. She didn't know about any of this. I lied to you guys. Apologizes to the daughters. Apologizes to Andy. He really, I think, wanted to stay married to her. But in 2 years, she filed for divorce, and then he disappeared off the face of the earth. I think their divorce is I think it closed in 2020, but she couldn't find him. So they were just still married for 8 years while he was nowhere land, undercover.
My God.
I know. It's a very dark story. Reminds me a lot of the show, the short-lived reality show we talked about at the beginning, Pretty Wild.
Oh God, because there's a lot of, obviously addiction issues with that. If you don't know what Pretty Wild is, baby, get some culture. I've said it before. Baby, get some culture. Get out of those museums, girls, and
true culture.
Try to torrent this short-lived reality show with Alexis Nyers, who famously was part of the Bling Ring back in the early aughts of, affluent teens in LA who would go rob very famous people's homes. And it was a huge thing. There was a Sofia Coppola movie called Bling Ring about it as well. But Alexis had a very bad drug addiction. And,
Yes, yeah. As did her adopted
sister, but they made out. Yeah.
And it's kind of we're not going to go into what became of the Curtin daughters because a little too dark, but
really? I want to know.
Do you?
Yeah, let's cut Tamra. We're gonna cut that whole thing. Woo! Not good.
Not good.
Not
bad
great
stuff. Okay. So, as we mentioned, Tamra is still hard at work, pushing her "my marriage is over" storyline uphill with no help from Simon, who still enjoys being married to her. It's it really reminds me of a woman who is trying to talk her mistress, her the guy she's cheating with, into killing her husband. But the guy she's cheating with is the camera. So they get into fights, and Simon's like, well, I don't know about that. And Tamra looks at the camera and goes, do you see? It's so over the top.
He wants me to live in a condo.
We have
with
to
these
kill
kids.
Him.
He wants me to live in a condo with a stripper as a roommate. I'm not doing that again.
And she doesn't. So there's a lot more of conversations this season of her being like, aren't we just like Frank and Lynn, where we talk about divorce all the time, and Frank's like,
he's like, what?
Simon's like, no, we've never
Simon's
said
like,
that.
No, we never have. Yeah.
And this is also where we see Tamra's signature move of like pretending to empathize with her scene partner, but actually making it about her own storyline. This is pulling a Tamra, classic Tamra. So, Lynn is like, I just, this feels like a near death, like I can't trust him anymore. And then Tamra, her voice wavering, eyes watering. You and me are the same. And does it feel like you're the only brave one holding it all together? Clearly talking about herself, like pivoting into, she's just, she's
so good. She's like,
and a master.
Why Frank wants you to live in a condo?
Exactly. Yeah. She's like, oh, and does it feel like, even though you have 4 daughters, you have no choice but to leave him? And
18 years old,
4 daughters?
18 years old is too young to move out of the house.
He's like, what are you talking about? It's so good. That's so Tamra.
That's so Tamra. My favorite Disney show.
My favorite, yes.
Starring Raven-Symoné.
Yep. She has visions of how to get more screen time. She sees her future.
5 more seasons.
On camera
5 more seasons.
So finally, before the finale party, Tamra finally gets the footage she wants of Simon. He's being a prick. He's she put on like a really short skirt, and he's like, "Are you sure you want to wear a short?" You're
your wife, and you're not. You're married, and
he's being a dick.
She's always fucking dressed like that.
I know, it's weird that he even cares. Like, I mean.
There was that one scene last season, was it last season or the season before, where she's like wearing lingerie for him before they go to dinner, and
and that's
has all these sex toys. Yeah.
I mean, I think he's just really afraid, like, she's gonna flirt with someone else on camera, like Vicki has, or that she's cheating on him, which maybe, but still, it's like the fact he's not the right guy for her. If he's not okay with her taking her tits out all the time.
She's a wild horse. She can't be tamed.
You gotta let her run. She's a Mustang, and I think he didn't. I think he wanted like. I don't think he wanted a housewife, but he wanted like a mother, like someone who really just cared about being a mom,
their children,
and their family. Yeah, and Tamra, that's just. I'm sorry, that's not her, babe. You gotta. Eddie accepts her.
She's a starlet. She's got to be on screen.
You gotta let her run. And so Tamra, is literally looking in the camera, being like, "What an asshole! Isn't he insecure?" Like flicking him off.
Yeah, now do her monologue that she gives to Simon.
Okay, this monologue is so good that Cam, who is an Orange Housewives hater, he was saying like the last line of it like all day.
Fun.
So he and then also he said, "Who is that? My ex-wife?"
Oh. We have a subreddit snark page. We could probably get some traction if we did.
That could actually maybe take off. Oh my God.
She doesn't listen to this. Jason, cut that.
I don't want to ever say anything mean. That's bad. In public.
I'll say it. She's no fun. She's insane. Okay. Take that off, Jason.
Cannot confirm it. Okay, so in the car, like he is really falling into he's really sounding controlling. Maybe
he's
this
sounding
is the
like
true
an asshole,
Simon,
like,
or maybe maybe it's the true Simon, or maybe he's like not. He's wanting to hide their dirty laundry, so he's. But either way, he looks like an asshole here. He's like, Vicki's always telling you she wants you to be a strong, independent woman. You know what that really means. And Tara's like, yes, and she's like, yeah, that's what you want. You don't accept me, da da da. And then. She's like, name one example. And then this is when she really loses control of the storyline, when he says, it's just that you're bailing on the kids so much. Like, we were supposed to, on Friday, like, all go bowling, and you bailed because you wanted to do, like, an on-camera girls thing. And that's when she loses it. She's like, how dare you? How dare you? I am a great mother every day of the week. You are vile. You are vile and nasty. And then, I want a divorce. Fuck you. Kim kept walking around saying, why did she's normal, and then she's like, I want a divorce, fuck you.
If I want a divorce, fuck you.
And like,
they're in a limo.
Like a mafioso, like, yeah, they're in a limo this whole conversation, by the way.
Famous scene, famous last words.
Simon is completely shell-shocked and like not processing.
As he should be.
Yeah. It like seemingly came out of nowhere, but she had been wanting to launch it all season.
She's been doing a soft launch.
And this was the hard launch because he was not picking up on the soft launch because she was telling him other things.
But I do feel like a divorce is something that, like, great that she brought it up on screen, but like you should at least prep the guy and be like, I've hired attorneys, like, maybe we need to do a legal separation. Like, none of that works for
especially that
Tim.
she made the choice, at the beginning of the summer and didn't tell him until the end of the summer because she understands the timing of episodes and that this would be perfect.
Yeah, and to do this before the finale, like the parties.
Like, she gets it. Devious. She's really learning. She's so devious. It reminds me of like the Velvet Underground. Like when you listen to them now, you're like, it sounds kind of like I still love them, but it's like, other songs that other bands have done better. I know. I also like glam rock. You don't know this about me, but I like two things.
Two things. I like two things. Three things, because you like Countess Luann.
And I like Countess Luann. I love her music. So yeah, it reminds me of that, where it's like, or like Joy Division, where it's like, there are other bands that did new wave like a lot more sophisticated and better. That's like the reality TV we see now. But it's like you have to realize that this band invented
this. Started it.
They started it, and it's like it was clunky at first, but that's because
this is like it was the first thing. Yeah,
she's a pioneer.
Yeah.
So yeah, at the party, Simon keeps trying to hug her and be like, okay, like let's never like talk about that again, okay? Like
and she's like, no, let's talk about it with attorneys present. You cheap motherfucker who has no money anymore because of your tequila. We don't have any money.
I do think she's right to be pissed off that he quit his job to start a tequila company.
Yeah, and she's also right to bring up all of her things that she's pissed off about and threaten divorce on camera without ever telling him how she feels.
She's right for that in a different way, and that I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. I think it's a heinous thing to do.
Yes, terrible way to treat someone.
Wow. He's like the father, like, divorce happens. He's like, fathered your kids.
Yeah, and really drag his name through the mud, like treated you, especially if you share a family with them. It's like, do that. It's like, it's kind of beyond the pale, but that's the kind of stick-to-itiveness that we needed. It's like Steve Jobs, horrible person, pioneer.
Who?
Steve Jobs.
Why did you just call him that? That's not his name.
I've been listening to too much Alexis.
It's
Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs.
God damn it, Lauren. You've been so far away. You haven't had an iPhone for so long. I hate you. I hate what Cam has done to you.
Alexis got in my brain.
I'm now Vicki, and Cam is Simon. And he's ruining your life.
I used to be a strong, independent iPhone user, and now he's controlling me by talking me into going to Droid.
Steve Jobs, not Steve Jobs. Who the fuck is that guy? He probably makes the Android, that piece of shit. Why are you crying?
Because I miss iPhone. No, I stuck my finger in my eye and I had onion on it earlier.
Why?
Because I was eating onion.
What are you doing over there?
I think it was last night I had onion. But
wait,
I
you stuck a finger in your eye right now?
Well, I was like, I accidentally touched my eye and then now it hurts. So I think it's onion residue.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so crazy.
We're together. Okay. So let's get into Gretchen really quick.
Oh my god, I forgot she was there. Oh yeah, her and Slade.
She just sucks. This is like the beginning of the end for Gretchen. She sucks the rest of these episodes because she's not like good at the fight.
She's defending
she needs Slade to defend her, but everyone's so mad at her because she brought him back like Beetlejuice. Yeah. Like it was like, it's like everybody thought Beetlejuice was gone.
Man?
Yes, you summoned him, and now he's gonna plague us forever. And also, he's gonna take you as his bride, and you're stuck with Beetlejuice. But it's worth it
we
for
have
her.
another movie coming out.
Exactly.
I'm not seeing it in theaters, or don't ask me.
Hell no.
I like Michael Keaton. I don't trust this new girl that's running around either. That's in that show, Wednesday or whatever. I don't trust this new girl.
I know. Why couldn't Winona Ryder play Lydia at the same age? She looks the same. Sorry.
I'm sorry. She looks the same, and I don't trust this new girl. Okay.
Yeah, me neither. It makes, you know what it tells me? That the advertisers, the people who made the money, they're catering to the TikTok generation. They're catering to Gen Z.
I don't trust her. Number one, she looks like she doesn't take an antidepressant, but the image she's selling is that she's only taking antidepressants.
That's true.
She's selling me an image, and I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it, bitch.
Well, she has been like a child star since youth, and she was in that show with a real pedophile Crystalia, where he pretended to be a pedophile molesting her. Cut this too, maybe. but
Lauren, what is happening?
She's been through some shit.
Okay, fine, I trust her.
Okay, all right.
But I'm not seeing the movie.
But I don't trust Slade. Speaking of Beetlejuice, at the finale party, Gretchen and Slade enter as bride and groom for no reason.
And they still have never been married.
It's like, what the fuck? Lori is there. We retread this boring ass storyline about how Slade and Lori dated. Slade says they didn't. Gretchen believes him. I'm so tired of this. Also,
the problem is too that Slade had told Gretchen that he had never had sex with.
But it's like, why
Lori.
not? Why does he keep doing that? Because he knows there will be. Oh, yeah, that too. I mean, I hate that the man is reproduced again, but like, I hate that, and I hate how much we hear about them having sex for the next 3 seasons. But like, I hate that he's intentionally telling Gretchen that so that he can get in a fight with Lori at the finale part.
Yeah,
and he did the same thing with Joe. It's like, who cares? Yeah. I don't want to see this fight again. You're boring.
You want to be on TV. You are on TV. Be a housewife. You got what you wanted, but you should still get a job and pay child support, please.
Exactly.
And stop having so much sex with Gretchen. By the way, I think people who talk about having sex all the time are actually not having sex all of the time.
Exactly. Unless they're like real nerds about sex, like
those
where they're
two.
But they're not. Yeah, they're very vanilla, and I think it's just because that's the only way they know what humor is.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, humor is penis and vagina.
No, and humor. Slade probably has to call Gretchen Gretchen Christine during sex because that's like her brand.
Yeah, and then she's got to be like, "You're the sixth housewife. You're the sixth housewife."
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I'll give you an orange, baby. Here's my orange.
I actually
calls her vagina her orange.
Her orange. And they probably still do that 10 years later off the show.
Yeah, and it probably is orange. It's spray tanned.
Yeah. Okay, so I have to read this whole chunk from the reunion, which is a great reunion. Andy destroys Slade. I just have to read it. It's so satisfying. Okay, so he's like, Slade, everyone still thinks you're a disgusting fame whore. And Gretchen and Slade are like, well, actually, if he didn't even want to do the show, the network forced him. And Slade is like, I actually started dating Gretchen when we thought she wasn't going to get asked back for her second season after Jeff died. And Andy goes, oh, so it must be immediately after Jeff died that you started dating. And Slade goes, no, it was 7 months later. And Andy goes, well, that doesn't add up. We made her the offer right after the reunion. In fact, it was 5 months after we wrapped, we started shooting again. So which one was it? And he's like, well, Slade is like all flummoxed. He's like, well, you should remember that after the second season of the show, I made the decision to leave. And he goes, actually, Joe wasn't on the next season, so there is no reason we would have you on the show. And there's a long pause. So I miss this Andy. Oh, he was such a ball buster.
I know. Or when when he's also talking about Lynn, like, so is it pills? It was probably pills. Yes, he absolutely destroys Slade, but that doesn't stop Slade and Gretchen.
That's true.
They are the most unstoppable people.
And also, what really is disgusting in this reunion, it makes me sick, is that all of the husbands come from my queen, Vicki, just because she rightfully said that they are all losers leeching off their wives.
No money.
And then this was the thing I didn't like reunions back then. Like, they were too Wild West. Like, these days, all of the house husbands would not gang up on a housewife. Andy would not allow that to happen. Like, I know. Hello, you guys aren't even on the payroll. Sit the fuck down. This is Vicki.
Well, I think they actually are on the payroll whenever you get a confession.
But they're not. But,
I think even then, I think maybe they were, because I did see or read a thing, like, anytime someone's getting a confessional, they're getting paid. They have to be or something.
Not in the early seasons. None of the kids got paid at all. This might be when they crossed over to paying.
If the kids were under the age of 18, that money probably went to their parents.
No, they didn't get paid, and the husbands didn't get paid for the early seasons.
Damn it.
That's part of why the Kios stopped wanting to be on camera. Andy also, he's very sympathetic to Tammy. He's always been a huge Tammy fan. He's like, oh, you and Simon divorced. Like, it's because he was abusive, right? And Tamara's like, yes, Andy, he was. And she's like, someone's like, wait, she was emailing another guy. And then Tamra's like, all we did was email and we didn't cheat. And Andy's like,
cheat on him,
I bet it's because of your marriage, right? Like, Andy's so proud of her that she got asked for divorce.
And she did this on camera.
She's like, He's
like, yeah, you've set the standard. This is the real gold standard, okay? All those like weird guys that I dated in college that were like, we need to go back to the gold standard.
Oh my God. Were they drug dealers? I don't trust
those.
That's very drug dealer.
No, they were just like, ugh. It was just one. It was this guy, Steven Shepdahl. He wasn't a drug dealer, but he was a libertarian. So
libertarian. Yeah. Yeah.
He voted for Ron Paul, and I was like, this is the final.
That's a bridge too far.
But then he went and he closed all of his bank accounts and like moved off the grid.
Wow. There's like two kinds of libertarians. There's ones that are like legitimately, well, they're both men types.
They're both men. There's never been a female libertarian
ever, or candidate. There's like, like the undiagnosed, class C personality disorder types, genuinely unhinged. And then there's men who are secretly RFK types, and there's men who are secretly conservative, but they still want to get pussy, so they pretend like I'm socially liberal. Actually,
I'm socially liberal.
Be able to get an abortion from me.
I agree with abortion.
Yeah, now let me fuck you. Yeah,
let me fuck you. But I'm really gonna like fuck you.
I have to do one more Andy quote. Sarah from Long Island wants to know, Slade, you started Joe's failed music career, and now you're managing Gretchen's music career with the same producer. Is this your MO?
Also, that is a really funny thing that Gretchen was like, I guess thought she made like a really great business deal by getting this like catalog from this producer, and part of the catalog includes like Joe's music. And then Andy's like, does Joe know that you own the rights to her music? And she's like, well, I guess she's going to find out now. But anytime that any of those songs are played or like they're on a ringtone, like I get a cut of that. It's like, so you never get any money.
She's just, exactly. No one has ever listened to Joe's songs.
No one's ever listened to Joe's music or Gretchen Christine's music.
Well, Gretchen Christine, they punish the whole cast and make them listen to 30 seconds of the song, and it's like the most brutal thing I've ever seen in a reunion.
For Jeff, or did for Jeff.
Again, it's like the Wild West. They would never do that to them now. They would never do that to their treasured housewives. My God.
But actually, that one reunion for Atlanta last season, or who's the girl that sang in front to her ex-husband or boyfriend, you know what I'm talking about? We watched the clip of it on Atlanta, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yes. She like sang the song, like that was very funny.
That was good, but that's different. That's like a performance. Like Candace, Candace performed on Potomac because Nicki Minaj made her. Like an on-the-spot performance is funny, but like listening to like the whole auto-tune thing, no, don't do that. So Andy actually asks the housewife for the theme or bumper sticker of the show. There's some lame ones, but I think the best one is from Tamra. I'm a free bitch. I would think that was the theme. Or like the global recession has devastated us. It's
everybody's lives are being upended by a global recession.
Yeah, pretty much. I do think this is like the most, if they were going to teach about reality TV in classrooms, this would be like the season that they would turn to. It has the most like context, yet is still entertaining of any, because like even the moment of the eviction, it's like you said with Jen, we didn't get that. We wouldn't get that now. Like, we get ring camera footage of Shannon almost running over a 22-year-old, and we get ring camera footage of the cops invading Jen Shah's house, but letting the camera people in the home for the eviction, that was a rare moment.
Crazy.
The sign of the time. Yeah. Vicki says she's done with the show. The fun is gone. Andy wants reassurance. She will be back, as do we. Thank God she does. She comes back for more, but just goes back to being the spiteful little angel we know and love. She's not going to take all this shit anymore. She's going to fight back next season.
She's a dirty dog. That's why I love her, though.
Yeah, she'll be back, and so will we for season 6 next week. What grade would you give this season overall, Michele?
Overall, Just because we ended so strong, I think I'm going to give it an A-.
I would give it an A. I really.
Just because of Tamra coming back with the I want a divorce.
It's so I loved this season. I thought everyone was really funny. There wasn't a ton of conflict. But
I have to have the minus for Lynn.
Sorry. Lynn is your minus. I get it. She's your cilantro.
No, and it is true also, the way that Andy asks Lynn about so do you think you're a good parent? You think so you think you're a good mom? She's like,
and everyone goes around and they're like, he's like, do you guys think
everyone
so?
Here thinks that you're a good parent? And
everyone's like, no, she's
no
a bad mom.
Yeah, they're like, no. And then it all right, we'll be right back.
I missed Andy.
More a part 2 of the reunion. We're back. Yeah. It's all right.
Oh yeah, this is the first part 2 on OC we've watched, so that's exciting. Rockin' and rollin'. I think it's honestly almost an A+ for me. 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. All right, we end
Certified
every episode. Certified fresh, baby. We end every episode with an oral exam. That is a 60-second essay on a pop culture topic of your choice. Michele, are you ready for your oral exam?
Yeah.
Okay, this is Michele Baber's oral exam. Her time starts now.
In this essay, I will prove, once again, Ben Affleck, boy, what are you doing? Boy, why are you doing it like this? So, as I told you last night, or I didn't tell you, I just sent you a text of an article. Ben Affleck is dating a Kennedy, but not just any Kennedy. He's not dating John F. Kennedy.
Despite what QAnon may tell you.
He is, in fact, not dating the ghost of John F. Kennedy. He's dating somebody named Kit, who is RFK Jr.'s daughter, 35-year-old daughter, who I don't think has a job, but is kicking it with Ben Affleck. And it's your wife just filed for divorce. I know that you've been separated since, April, but he's been, rolling around town with Kit Kennedy since, I don't know, May. I just think he's gross and it's weird. And it's RFK Jr.'s daughter, so it's even worse. Make a good decision, Ben. This is worse than your back tattoo, your phoenix from rising from the ashes.
He's so self-destructive. He's
destructive.
He's I was too much in the limelight with Jennifer Lopez, so now I want to go with the former third party candidate's daughter, whose wife is finally being bullied for what a lunatic he is too. Now I want to marry into that family.
Yeah,
what the fuck are you thinking?
What are you doing? And do you just want to be with a famous New Englander? Is that what you've wanted your entire life or something?
I think he wants enough money
also
to
it's just
insulate. I really think he wants to be rich enough to have enough security to insulate himself from ever having to deal with the public again. I think that is the fantasy. Oh, also, Du posted
but I actually think that he likes it.
They've been together since May. Du posted that. Our friend Dumois.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, our friend Dumois. She's been on the podcast. Oh, but no, he's. I think you know what he says that he doesn't like it.
But he likes it too. It's a love hate.
Likes it.
He likes he starts it all. It's addiction. He's addicted to it.
I don't think he likes it when somebody has more than him.
Fame. Yeah.
And J-Lo is always going to have way more press. I mean, she's open about it, but he pretends to not like it. Jennifer Garner was getting paparazzi, but Ben was always the bigger star. When he dated Ana de Armas, you don't think that he was fucking calling the paparazzi every single day of COVID and making her take pictures of her fake laughing?
And
he's never been funny.
Yeah, he's
and now he's out with
person.
An unvaccinated woman. You're disgusting, Ben.
Yeah, an unvaccinated.
I don't know
woman.
if
exposing your children to her.
I don't know if Kit Kennedy is unvaccinated. That's alleged. Her father is famous for talking about how people shouldn't be vaccinated.
Here's what I do know about her. I bet she knows about nightshades.
She doesn't eat nightshades.
She does not eat nightshades.
They don't have them in Martha's Vineyard where she lives. They don't grow there.
Yeah. Well, that was strong. We continue our enemy of the pod Ben Affleck campaign. Or up, as the kids say.
Popping up on my page 6.
Yeah. And we're rooting for the gens. We're always rooting for the gens.
Not the kicks.
Not the Kicks. Ugh, Kicks. Yeah, it's like, what part is more fucked
Why is
up?
her name
It's hard.
Kick?
Kick.
Oh, apparently there's already, that's like a family name too. There's like 30 Kicks. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird because when I tried Googling this person, you like see like black and white like photos of like dead Kick Kennedys. Like it's, oh, and she has a daughter named Kick Kennedy Jr. But she's not even a junior because there's like 20 before. It's too much going on.
Yeah, I just don't even know where to start with how strange it all is, you know? Okay. All right. I'm kind of torn between two, but I'll choose one. Okay. In this essay, I will prove that even though, like I said, I only like 2 genres of music, glam rock and new wave, and I'm really busy listening to drag queen podcasts and Bravo podcasts all the time. So probably I will never listen to Chappell Roan's music or know if it's Chappell or Chappelle Roan, even though everyone tells me I would like it. But she has made a fan for life out of me because she is at the perfect intersection of new fame hitting crazy, really big all of a sudden, to not be media coached by her like PR team to like, oh no, definitely let fans, you know, be insane. Definitely like let them, you know, be entitled and definitely let them be cruel and like tell them to bully other. They like that, and that's what makes money. She is fresh, real, new enough. They haven't gotten to her yet. They haven't told her there's money in insanity, or they did and she doesn't care yet. She hasn't sold her soul, and she is telling people over and over again, I don't owe you shit. Calm down. You are unhinged. And I love that. Everyone hear that, please. Sorry, I know I'm always scolding people, but everybody needs to chill out.
No, but I think my daughter's trying to knock on the door.
It's a good lesson for her. Don't accost Bluey if you ever see him in person. He might not like it.
Bluey's a girl.
She might not like it.
Don't misgender Bluey. Sorry. And now we said it.
Sorry, now we said it. Cut that part.
You know who wouldn't? You know who wouldn't misgender Bluey? Chappell Roan's fans.
You're so right. Yeah.
Ben Affleck for sure.
Ben Affleck for sure. He's never watched an episode of Bluey.
No.
And he's got like 12 kids. So.
Yeah, and now he's gonna be a stepfather to who knows how many Kennedys.
Yeah. That's what's crazy. Is like guys who have all these marriages, it's like you have so many stepkids. Do you still
it is weird that like Jennifer Lopez's kids and Ben Affleck's kids are very, very close. And they were apparently like her children or his children were very close to J-Lo too. It's weird.
It's giving Lala and Rand's ex-wives.
Yeah.
More powerful together. Girl power. Kid power.
Right, I gotta go. My daughter's.
All right.
She wants macaroni.
Bye. We love you guys. Follow us. TikTok. Bravo_breakdown. Same on IG. And if you're watching on YouTube, as always, I will show you my boobs. Going. Still going. Okay.